is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2016 SJPorr Challenge is dedicated to your friend and ours, Paul Wickstein. Brought to you by Brewcraft USA, iMake, Gladfield Malting, Yakima Valley Hops, The Grain Bill, Brewers Exchange, Cake Kingdom Homebrew Supply, Hiraki Homebrew, and a special thanks to our silver sponsors.
All right, we're back. Andrew from Not on Sundays here. Southeast region of the SJPorr Challenge. This is beer number 2, and beer number 2 of the night. Pretty pumped to get into this. It's turned almost fall here in Georgia. The temperature's falling, so I looked at this and said, oh, yes, please. It is 32R-53P-75V, and it is a chocolate caramel oatmeal milk stout at 3.2% ABV. Here we go here. Sounds amazing. Like I said in my first video, I'm going to be a little bit tougher of a critique in some of these, I think, than I normally am on some of my beer reviews. But regardless, I'm going to be fair, and I'm still probably going to rate higher than most people anyway. So, that being said, my first thing that I'm worried about, descriptors. Be careful with your descriptors. This is so enticing sounding. Chocolate caramel oatmeal milk stout. With all the good intentions you may have, that sounds luscious, it sounds thick, it sounds silky, it sounds malty and rich. I'm hoping it's not being oversold by the description. At 3.2%, it may be good, but you may be setting yourself up for failure with that luscious of a description. But we're going to give it an absolute fair shake. So I read online that it was cacao nibs in the secondary with caramel flavoring, which right out of the bottle you can smell that flavoring. With a little bit of chocolate, it smells awesome. It smells really, really good. Here we go on the pour. I didn't check to see if I thought it was bottle conditioned. It's pretty darn dark, so it may not matter regardless. I don't see anything on the bottom. So it looks like you got a really dark brown. It's not black. We can get a little bit more aggressive on the pour. Carb looks really good. Not overly carb. That was the other thing I was kind of afraid of. It's tough when you get a really carb stout, especially a really small one. But no, it looks dead on. So now in the glass, when I was pouring it looked a dark brown, but here in the glass it's pretty close to black. It's got a kind of a tan. It looks whiter in this in the camera. It's got kind of a tan head to it. Kind of an off-white tan head. It's got a kind of a moussey feel to it. The head looks awesome. The beer is actually really beautiful. I get a few bubbles streaming up the sides here. Wow, caramel. Woo! Caramel for days. I like it though. I've never used caramel flavoring. But it actually smells really good. I was worried about a little bit of artificial smell or flavor to it. We'll see about it in the smell, or I mean in the taste, but the smell is really good. I will say the only downside is that that's pretty much all you're smelling. You're not really getting any chocolate or any malts or anything else. It's almost 100% the caramel, and then you get some vanilla. Again, it's good, but that's the only thing you smell. It's a great looking beer. The bubbles are small, but they're a little scattered. They're not super tightly packed. No worries. Let's go for it. Cheers to the brewer. I'm pumped about this. It smells awesome. Okay. Again, I have the 3-sip rule, especially when I'm trying to really dissect a beer. Third. It's a good beer. As I was worried about, it's not as luscious as it sounds. And it's tough to beat at this ABV. The mouth feels a little bit light. It's medium to light. It's not bad. It's not off-putting, but man, I wanted oatmeal and I wanted milk stout. I wanted it to be just Tastes is good though. You got some chocolatiness on there. You definitely get the caramel. You get a little bit of the underlying roasty malts, and that background's still sitting there. It's not gone. It's still there. There's not as much caramel in the flavor as in the aroma. Carb's just about right. Alright, I'm going to sit with this thing, and I'll be back after doing a little scoring, a little tasting, let it warm up a little bit. Alright, been hanging out with this for a while. It's a pretty good beer. I scored it, kind of gone through my thoughts. First of all, let me say, not a bad beer at all. One that I would enjoy drinking on a regular basis, but it does have a few flaws, I think, that keep it from being stellar. One, like I said from the very top, the description of it being chocolate, caramel, oatmeal, milk stout. I think I would have even left off the oatmeal milk part, unless I had some more oats, some more lactose, or even just a higher mash temperature to bring up that residual sweetness at the end, so that it didn't finish quite so dry. That was really my largest argument with it, is I really wanted some more sweetness to it, it being a milk stout. But again, it's tough at this ABV. Along with that little bit of lack of sweetness, right towards the end of the flavor, there's a little bit of a chalkiness. I'm not even really sure what causes that, or if it's like a fermentation flaw or anything. I don't think so, but it may be water profile. Along with that, it's got a little bit of a drying, kind of astringency at the end. Probably from the dark malts in such a low ABV beer, where you're really trying to get all those sugars out when you're sparging. But it's not terrible, it's not off-putting, but it's there, it's a little bit drying, and I think that's what emphasizes the lack of sweetness. Because if that astringency wasn't there, I don't think you'd notice it quite as much if it kind of hung on your tongue a little bit longer, coated your tongue, and didn't just drop off and be really dry. I wish there was a little bit less caramel flavoring. It tastes good. It really doesn't taste fake or chemically. I wish there was just a little bit less, so that some of the malts could shine through a little bit more. It's got some good legs to it. It was hanging around on the glass while I was drinking and scoring. You can see a little bit there. It's a pretty darn good. It's a well-made beer. It had a few flaws to it, I think, but enjoyable nonetheless. Really good. I ran out of space on my phone. Cheers to the brewer. Good beer. A couple little flaws, but hey, well done. Well done with the ABV. 3.2 is impressive to get this much flavor. This again is 32R-53P-75V. Cheers and good luck in the challenge. See ya.